Yeah, no question about that.
Is it just me, or are Hillary and Bill looking more and more alike?
Thank you for pointing that out.
Good.
Well, they say you look like your dog after a while, and I have seen couples
look
how long
alike.
have how long have the
morph
Clintons
into
been
each
together?
other.
How long have they been together? What,
Oh, for a very long
Long
time.
time, but if she didn't dye her hair, I think you're right.
That's
They both have
very
white hair.
funny.
They might
My
look like
goodness.
each other.
But they're still together, which
They
is the
are.
main story, too.
You know what?
Wow.
Yeah, in that relationship,
Do you think she's
absolutely.
going to run? Do you think she's going to run for
That,
president?
you know what? You hear that so many different ways. I talked to some guy who allegedly is like a big insider, and
So he
said-
would be the first man.
And he says that the Democratic
the
ticket.
first man.
He would record this and play it back in November of '08. He says the Democratic ticket is going to be some guy, somebody from Virginia.
Mark Warner.
Mark Warner, very good. Mark Warner and Evan Bayh
From Indiana.
from Indiana, and then it's already secretly decided.
Wait, look at this.
But look,
You're
you're
right. Wow.
I'm not as stupid as I look, huh?
No.
So who are these people who you've...
Well,
Mark
Evan
Warner?
Bayh's a senator, and Mark Warner's the governor of Virginia, I think.
And what are they like? Are they cool? Are they good?
Well, I haven't met them.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, what's
Do
both
they
of them have
do they
seen
get your
Clay
endorsement?
sing.
I don't really know. I think it's a completely wide open field. I think everybody thinks Hillary's going to run, and that's where she's going to get all the attention. And John Edwards from North Carolina is on Oprah today, and so he's gearing up his own thing as well.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think he's giving up. I don't think she's
Gee,
giving
wait,
up.
boy, we hit the hot button
Who knew the
here.
smartest political pundit in the room
Yeah.
is
Clay Aiken.
ladies and
Tucker
gentlemen.
Carlson? Who's he?
Toe-to-toe Tucker Carlson, I was just about to say.
Wow.
All right.
All
We're going to
right.
be back close to the election for election
well,
coverage, if you don't mind, Clay.
Yeah.
It'd be great. We'll put you down on the docket. Our British survey says your music choices tell a lot about your lifestyle, but of course we knew that, but political views.
Back to Clay Aiken.
But interesting though, because there are some studies surprises in this study. You'd think that somebody who listens to opera less likely to experiment with drugs, right?
No.
However, the study found that opera fans are just as likely as other music lovers to try hallucinogenic drugs. Imagine that with the opera.
Sometimes I think people who listen to me must be on hallucinogens.
All the
Say
time.
that your fans are here.
Just when I'm singing.
You might also think that hip-hop listeners and fans are wild and liberal. Well, studies show that though people think they lead lives filled with drugs, sex, and crime, they tend to have much more political and conservative political views. So, I'm somewhat surprised, but not really surprised.
You know, the last thing Terrell Owens was seen doing was buying a Clay Aiken CD. Don't know. But yeah, that's
that Navy wife put the bill in his mouth. That could be the reason that he had the problem.
We always are looking for reasons to try and...
Well, music is a wonderful escape, is it not? And so, you know, it's interesting to see. I mean, I know what's on my iPod. You guys all know it. I've got Chicago, and Jack Johnson, James Taylor. So, you know, and I do have one of your CDs. And the thing about it is that you listen to escape kind of and relax. And so, you know, whether or not it makes you conservative or liberal, I don't know. But
Well, and I
it's kind
think-
of an escape anyway.
But I think that oftentimes people walk a very fine, like it's a gray area for a lot of folks.
Well, you would
Do you
tend
know
to
what
think
I mean?
that somebody, I mean, it's sort of out of vogue, but I would have prejudgments, I guess. You know, if your iPod was hardcore punk, I'd think, okay, that tells me something about you.
What would it tell you?
I don't-
That they
well,
would
not
have-
that you're
I have
helping Grady
Metallica
across
on
the
my
street.
CD
All
as
right.
well. I mean, on my iPod.
Yeah.
I also have Metallica.
I would agree with you. I'm kind of surprised. You wouldn't expect, you know, a heavy metal listener to be
What would
helping
be-
out at the nursing home.
Right.
Yeah, right.
What's on your iPod? What do you...
Just me.
As it should be.
I listen. Excellent. I listen to me.
You're like him.
I think
What do you think I watch on
The only
TV?
pictures in his home are of him.
I think Clay Aiken is my favorite guest ever.
What would be interesting to see happen, though, is I remember I made my big confession to you guys that I'm starting to listen to country music, of course, just as KZLA goes off the air. Nice
Right.
timing. I wonder if you could map how somebody's musical tastes change and if their political views also change as they age.
You can absolutely, people in radio do this all the time. You can absolutely map how at a certain age, you know, a station like Kiss FM, which a lot of us listened to growing up, you opt out of it at a particular age.
Well,
and they also say that about record buying, too.
Just for advertising. I mean, you don't hear commercials for Depends on the
pop station.
on the pop station so much. So I think that just marketing purposes, people expect that.
And also going from the artist's point of view on this whole drugs and music thing, like one of the Beatles, I forget whether it was John Lennon or...
There's only 4 of them.
Yeah, Paul McCartney.
So which
one
one?
of them. I forget. But he said, listen, before drugs, we were singing She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand. After drugs, Yellow Submarine, the album number 9. You know, so it also, so and what he was trying to say is there's the connection of you may not understand this if you're straight. But if you're on drugs, you will be able to
Makes perfect
understand,
sense.
you know, because we wrote it on drugs, so...
So there's a whole group of men out there that are saying, oh, that's why I don't understand opera, because I'm not...
Which leads us
Not high
oddly enough, to Paris Hilton.